Apple has made a bold move with the iPhone 17 Pro, and this time, it's not about software updates or the endless hype around AI. Instead, the company is taking a surprising step by redesigning its flagship phone to look more like the Pixel 10. For a brand that has always been proud of its originality and unique design language, this decision feels unusual. But when you take a closer look, it might actually be one of Apple's smartest moves in years. For a long time, Apple has been known to borrow ideas from rivals, but usually in software. Many iOS features were first seen on Android before Apple polished and added them to its system. Design, however, has been a different story. Apple has always stuck to its own style and rarely allowed outside influence to shape the iPhone's look. That's why the news of a Pixel-like redesign for the iPhone 17 Pro feels so significant. It signals that Apple understands the iPhone needs a fresh identity, something that will reignite interest in a market where the design has stayed nearly the same for years. Think about it. Since 2017, the iPhone hasn't gone through a major redesign. Year after year, people online joke about how every new iPhone looks almost identical to the previous one. Customers have been asking for change, and Apple finally seems ready to deliver it. This shift couldn't have come at a better time, especially after the iPhone 16, which left many people disappointed. Apple promoted unfinished AI features as the main selling point of the iPhone 16, but many of those features still haven't been released. Instead of creating excitement, Apple ended up losing trust. The focus had to be shifted to the new liquid glass design language in iOS, but the damage was already done. Customers were left wanting something real, something tangible, not just delayed promises. Now, let's talk about why Apple is turning to a Pixel-inspired design. Google's Pixel phones, especially the Pixel 10, are far from dominating the market, but they have built a reputation for standing out. The Pixel's horizontal camera bar makes it instantly recognizable, and its focus on AI and software integration has earned comparisons to the iPhone itself. In fact, many call the Pixel the iPhone of Android, because Google, like Apple, controls hardware, software, and even develops its own chips. Even though Pixel sales are smaller compared to iPhone or Samsung Galaxy devices, the brand is steadily growing. Reports even suggest that many Pixel users were once iPhone owners. That trend alone is enough for Apple to take notice. The Pixel brand is becoming more recognized every year, partly because it offers an Apple-like experience within the Android world. So Apple's strategy with the iPhone 17 Pro is clever. By introducing a horizontal camera bar similar to the Pixel's, Apple is making sure iPhone users don't feel tempted to switch. It's almost like Apple is saying, you don't need to leave us for Google if you want a bold design. We'll give you that new look right here. But of course, design alone isn't enough to win the market. The Pixel 10 still struggles with performance as its chipset lags behind competitors, and many of its AI-powered features don't live up to expectations. That's where Apple has the upper hand. By combining a fresh design with the powerful performance and reliability iPhones are already known for, Apple could offer the best of both worlds. Some people will say Apple is copying Google, and to a certain extent, that's true. But there are only so many ways to place cameras on the back of a phone. Plus, Google itself has borrowed many ideas from Apple in the past. Others see this as Apple's way of playing smart, adapting to market demands while still offering its signature polish. Another interesting angle is how this move lets Apple shift away from the AI hype cycle. AI hasn't taken off the way companies expected, and some analysts even suggest the AI bubble might burst. While Google continues betting heavily on AI, Apple could reposition itself around something customers value more: strong hardware upgrades, durability, and user experience. If the iPhone 17 Pro delivers on those promises, it could win not only loyal Apple fans but also Android users who are tired of gimmicks. The smartphone industry has been stuck in small, incremental improvements for years. Google's camera advantage isn't untouchable anymore, and Apple's once unquestioned software dominance has been challenged. By refreshing the design, strengthening the hardware, and moving the conversation away from delayed software tricks, Apple could spark a new wave of excitement. At the end of the day, this redesign isn't about Apple giving up its originality. It's about adapting to a market that constantly demands something new. If executed well, the iPhone 17 Pro could stop users from drifting toward the Pixel and, at the same time, remind people why the iPhone remains one of the most important devices in tech. Sometimes, swallowing pride leads to the best results. And for Apple, making the iPhone 17 Pro look a little more like the Pixel 10 might just be the smartest decision it has made in years.